Welcome to my channel. My name is Alex and I travel full-time with my cat and my FJ Cruiser. Sometimes we take the travel trailer with us, other times all we've got is our overlanding setup. Last time I shared some of the things that I loved and hated about living in Rocky Point, and then I packed up and headed out for Arizona. This time we are picking up in Arizona where I run into some issues with the RV and prep to get my mom and grandma from the airport. Concrete pads are one of the most deceiving parts of RVing because it's like you think that they're going to be flat because they spent all this money, but no, you still sometimes have to level the RV. So when I was done doing that, I turned the gas back on and I smelled it, but I didn't think anything of it at the time, and I would figure out why I was smelling it later on. I have never had anything go missing or be stolen from me at a park, but I would say don't take any chances. As a matter of fact, when I was putting this up, a guy who was really into bikes passed and congratulated me for doing that because his friend never did. There are no hookups at Oregon Pipe, so I had to put out my solar, which is fine. I know how to adjust my power consumption levels to be able to run the entire RV off solar, but with the propane system going out, this was going to get tricky. Thanks to one of my Instagram followers, I finally figured out why everyone was popping their bonnet. Americans say hood, and it's pack rats. So I made sure that I went ahead and put one of my Go Treads underneath there. Basically, it lets the cold air pass in, so it's not an ideal space for them to try to build a nest or chew on your wiring. It did look like it was going to rain, so I was a little bit nervous because you don't really want water getting into that part of your vehicle. But I got lucky monitoring the weather and it just stayed beautiful and it did not rain. Great weather continued into the following morning, so I decided I'm going to go on a bike ride. So I've gotten a lot of questions about this bike. It's a Walmart bike. I got it off Amazon, but it's a Walmart bike. I think I paid less than $500 for it. It is not an e-bike, and it is quite heavy, I would say, because of the tires. And I don't think that the tires necessarily perform better on sand, but I will say that they do pretty well off-road. On the pavement, though, because of the extra grip, it can be much harder to pedal. While I was getting my exercise, Shadow was busy watching all the birds and squirrels and just the general wildlife that tends to hang out at Oregon Pipe, and I just love seeing him this animated and excited. The following day, my RV battery died, which is crazy because the RV has been plugged in nonstop for months, right? And the battery is supposed to be fine. And then my propane finished. And that's also crazy because I bought propane right before I left. Thankfully, I was able to use my solar to compensate for some of these problems, but propane and the battery power are two essential parts of running the RV when you're off grid. So this was a huge disaster and something I knew I needed to fix before I was able to pick up my family. I was in the middle of nowhere. There weren't a lot of people at camp. There was no stores nearby. So I was like, you know what? Let me just continue as planned and do my laundry. I did find the receipt for the battery that I had at Walmart. At this point, I thought that was the issue. And I also went ahead and figured out where I could buy a replacement system for my propane. When you can't fix the big stuff, fixing the small stuff can help you feel better. So I decided to fix this annoying creaking I have in my stabilizers. Before I knew it, it was time to pack up and head to Tucson to get my mom and my grandma. I was so excited. My grandma used to watch tiny home videos with me and told me that she really wanted to go caravanning in her youth, but she never got the opportunity. My mom has gone RVing with me before, but it was such a quick trip to get the RV from Georgia to Nevada that she never really got to enjoy the experience, so I knew this was going to be fun. My first stop in Tucson was getting my Amazon packages at a locker. That was my propane system and stuff that I needed, so I was really happy to get that first. And then I went to my Airbnb, which was just somebody's driveway for me to park the RV. There are a lot of these online. I would highly recommend using them if you're looking for somewhere to park on short notice. It was a really rough day of running errands, but I was able to get my battery exchanged at Walmart, only to put the battery in and realize the battery was not the problem. Either way, you can't go wrong with having a brand new battery, so that was good. I also got the propane refilled, but once I realized that it was leaking, I turned the system off and never turned it back on. And then I cleaned up the truck, and it was time to go get my mom and my grandma, finally. I really struck gold with this Airbnb lot because it was like 15 minutes from the airport. So it was a quick drive to go and get them, and oh my goodness, I was so excited. I really wanted to show my grandma and of course my mom what my life was like beyond the YouTube videos, like actually get to live in it and enjoy the camping experience. So next week, that's where we'll pick up, and my friend Dustin is joining us on this trip. If you forget, Dustin was the friend I made in Wyoming who decided that he was also going to go full-time, so this was my first time seeing his setup. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get my public videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!